How's it going, guys? Brian Cusco here at Triple B, and we're actually at CMC with Mr. Ed Velardo, my buddy here. He's a Patreon supporter, he's a good guy, and he's got some really cool animals and snakes that we're going to look at today. A nice variety. We may even branch outside of snakes. I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope you guys enjoy this episode of Snakes with Friends.
You're watching Triple B TV.
So cool. This is actually the first time we've had a Doomerals boa on Triple B TV, at least not when we're at an expo, but actually at a Snake with Friends, so cool.
Yeah, these actually are probably one of my favorite boas. The more I research these guys, that they are on the list of extinction because of deforestation. And you know, they're called the Madagascar ground boa. The cool thing about these, there's probably going to be more of these in captivity than there'll be in the wild eventually.
Because of the deforestation?
Yes, because of deforestation. And so I have a male and a female. I picked my, I think I picked my female up from BHB, and I got my male from Outback Reptiles. And you don't see them much on the market. So I was really excited to get a male and female. Eventually I'd love to try to breed these in the future, maybe in another year or two.
They're really cool boas.
Yeah, and their temperament is really supposed to be the best at all the boas. Just sweet. I think one reason they might not be so popular is because, you know, you can't come up with different colors like you can with the other, you know, the regular Colombians. There's no morphs. They have different shadings, darker and pinker, but
they start very pink as babies.
Yeah, and these things, the ground boas, they kind of burrow into the leaves, and you can't see these at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
that pattern. If you have leaves on top of that, you're not gonna. It almost looks like a pile of leaves.
I put this guy I put it on coconut fiber, and it just buries itself just where you could see the surface. But I mean, it blends in, especially the male, because the male's a lot darker than this one. This one kind of has pinks and stuff. And this is the female. And they get a lot bigger. The females get only about 8 feet. And that's the other good thing. If you don't want a really big boa, you know, the males get about 6.5 feet, 7 feet maybe. And I mean, even 8 feet might be rare for the females.
Right.
You know, but their temperament is just really sweet.
Yeah, it's a sweetheart of a snake.
Really sweet snake.
My most recent favorite snake to get bitten by. These have the most fun bites.
Yeah, they actually don't bite, they chew.
Right, yeah.
Because, I mean, this guy actually, I've been bitten by the big one, and she got my thumb, and that girl actually was just chewing on my thumb. It actually took a little bit to get it off. But yeah, like you said, it does sting. They get those back teeth. But I didn't get any reaction to it, which was nice. I didn't get any swelling, nothing like this. But as long as you keep them fed.
This is an albino Conda?
This is an albino Conda. Yeah, nice. This is an albino Conda male.
Check out the belly on that.
Yeah, it's a really cool pattern, which I'll eventually breed. I'm going to get into breeding these also. I've actually been doing it with one. I have one female that's actually big enough and one male, an albino, that I've been breeding with my the normal. But again, another really cool snake. And you could get all different types of colors out of these guys too. Axanthic and of course the albino, the Conda. I think they got pinks. You know, I'm kind of still learning as I go.
It's like a little sausage snake.
Yeah, exactly.
They look so much funnier off the ground, and and then the ground boa, it just looks like this little sausage.
Yeah, and they have really good appetites too. I mean, I could feed this thing 3 fuzzy mice within, you know, just one after the other, and he will pound them one after the other. You just got to make sure you do feed them, because that's when they get kind of bitey. If they're not getting enough,
right, then
or their food they're getting is too small, they come out of that cage mouth open,
right?
Because they think food's coming in. Again, it's just like yeah, it's just like anything. It's not being mean. I think it's basically they're just hungry.
I'm hungry. Feed me.
If you watch anybody, they tell you these things rarely bite. They have that false strike.
Right. Missed boa constrictor.
Yeah, this is a Colombian albino. I had this since he was a hatchling, and again, I picked this up from Brian at BHB. Real sweet snake. Like I said, but it did bite Vanessa once. But because Vanessa was holding it with one hand, and I think it just kind of freaked out.
Yeah, they like to have
But
that.
again, it's, you know, these animals are just really calm and docile, and just as long as you support their body, let them anchor on you.
Yeah, and they love to have this tail wrap too.
Yeah.
Get that little thumb for the
It
tail.
makes them feel
little
much
safer.
more cozy. And eventually I would love to even get into, I know the breeding the boas are a lot more difficult. I do have some mentors that are helping me on this also. Get a female
more
too,
temperature
because
stuff,
yeah,
a little more season.
yeah,
stuff you gotta
because
work with.
even Brian Barczyk said these are tough. He's had a hard time breeding these guys. But
I've never tried to breed boas, so
well, the cool thing is they're live bearers. That's what I would love to experience. Is, you know,
that'd be pretty sweet to see a litter of snakes.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I have Kenyan boas too that I'm trying to breed again. It was just cool to see live snakes birthed rather than incubating eggs, you know, for 60 days or 90 days if you have the retics. So yeah, I just enjoy the boa constrictors. And ball pythons is what basically I have more than anything of. I have about 75 in my collection, and my favorite morph is the highway. You know, the gravel, anything to do with the highway, freeway, asphalts, gravels, yellow bellies. Cool thing about this, I mean, it becomes a powerhouse when you breed it to anything yellow belly. Because I got the highway, I got a ton of yellow belly females. So if you have pastel yellow bellies, you get pastel, you can get pastel highways. I have a pastel ivory, so I could get pastel highways out of that. You know, because the yellow
belly complex is really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really
exactly. Cool. And when you get a pastel, this is just a normal highway, but when that pastel's in there, it brightens up all this lining and all that pattern on the side, and the freeways are even cooler. And then super gravels.
It's amazing how much the yellow belly complex has to offer.
Yes.
And how much the heterozygous forms the animals.
Right.
Are not they're one of the harder ones to pick out for a lot of people.
Exactly.
But when you start doing the allelic combos and stuff, it starts to get really, really wild.
Right. And I know a lot of people like the pieds and the clowns, but
a lot of the combos out there that you just add yellow belly to. When you just add yellow belly,
it
does a lot
so
for it.
much to the gene. And I mean, even pastel, I mean, it does a lot. And that's what, this is my favorite right here. Another Brian Barczyk BHB snake. Anytime I buy a high-end animal, I make sure I get it from a reputable breeder. Because when you're spending that kind of money, you definitely want to make sure it's from somebody that carries quality animals. Whether it be, you know, Kevin from Nerd, Brian, any of those guys. This is a Pinstripe inchi, possible het pied, het mullen. So this is a male from Kevin McCurley. Again, I bought this from Kevin maybe about a little over a year ago as a hatchling. This male is going to be a big part of my breedings for next season. The neat thing about it is because of the inchi, pinstripe gene, yellow belly gene, I mean, it's all in there. It does so much to anything you put it to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anything you put it to, it's gonna get you some really cool animals, and that's why I like these. I'm not big on the recessive.
Yeah, those are three genes that do some different.
Yeah.
They do some really different things.
You know, you could pick something out with the, you know, get a 5-gene animal with just all kinds of stuff in it, and just something really cool, and a really cool pet that's not too pricey when you do try to sell them. Because that it is, you know, I am trying to, you know, I sell my animals on Morph Market, and I have a few left on there, but I'm excited about what's coming up for this year and next year.
So it's a GHI Lesser?
Yep, you got it, Brian. GHI Lesser. Another one of my favorite genes, the GHI. Another gene, you put it to anything, you never know what you're going to get.
Well, you got to have it.
Yeah, that's it. You got to have it.
That was horrible.
You got to have it. And actually, there's ones even really cooler than this that they kind of get that real busy pattern. This one's more of the lighter ones. And this is a male, and I've bred this to my Super Pastel. I've bred it to my Pinstripe, my Spinner, and my albino female for this season. And they are all gravid.
So you're gonna have to tell me all about this, because I've never kept a blue
You never
tongue
kept a
skink.
blue tongue?
No, I've never.
Now these are big in Australia. I mean, that's where most of them are coming from. I
Right.
mean, there's so many different types of species of blue tongue. They're really Brian, every time I'm with you, I get pissed on.
Ed has been pissed on by more reptiles around me. Go check out the link right here. You can find a really epic episode of Ed getting pissed on.
Yeah, pissed and shit on.
Link.
Yeah, these they're pretty easy to take care of. Oh my God, now get on
Crazy.
All right, guys. Oh my God, that's horrible.
Does it smell?
He's a little nervous, yeah.
I can't smell it from here. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you're up a little higher than I am. But yeah, they're great. They're great animals. I mean, these guys they're easy to take care of. They're pretty well tempered. I mean, he's a little bit fuzzy because he was sitting in a box for a little bit, but I mean, dog food, mealworms. I feed it. It doesn't like dry dog food too much, so I give it wet dog food. So either or, it works for them. And they like to kind of burrow or hide under something. So you want something in there they can hide under.
Now you're gonna have to recreate that defecation for the B-roll, you know.
Exactly.
Now this is the first time we've had one of these on Triple B
Yeah.
TV. African bullfrog.
Yep, pixie frog, African bullfrog.
Look at that.
These
fatty McFat.
They're really fat, and these things just burrow. They're basically a mouth with a stomach. Because I feed it.
Cool.
I mean, these things eat rats, mice. I feed it super worms, horned worms. Pretty much anything you put in front of it, it'll eat it. But I mean, I make sure you want to switch the diet around. You don't want to give it too many mice because the mice is real fatty. So you want to give it the more protein, and the super worms and the horned worms are full of protein. Keep its diet a little bit balanced.
Cool,
and the kind of thing I get this because I would like to start doing educational things, you know what I mean?
That's such a cool frog.
And this thing is gonna get huge.
I love
it's a baby
frogs,
still.
Dude, I've been catching frogs since I was a kid, and it's just like
this thing will weigh 5 pounds when it's full grown.
Everything's pissing on you today.
I knew it would. That's all right. The frog pee's not so bad.
Yeah, it's just like.
But again, it's
water,
a cool
water in, water out.
It buries itself in that coconut fiber. You can't even find it once you put them in.
That's cool, man.
And then you just a little bit of water for them to get in and soak once in a while. And I spray them down. You want to keep, because these guys will go into hibernation if you don't keep them damp and wet. They will burrow. They will go off food. I mean, they could go up to 2 years just buried in the ground without eating. Because, you know, drought conditions in Africa
can be pretty extreme, right?
Yeah. So these guys have adapted to that. That's what's a great thing about these animals.
That's like, it looks
so cool.
It looks like a little frog face got stuck in this fat freaking pillow.
Yep.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you found it cool to check out all these different species. I sure did. This frog. Oh man, there will be links down in the description where you can find all of Ed's information, his YouTube channel, where you can find him on Facebook, right, and all that kind of stuff. And he's gonna be catching frogs.
That's it. Still quick.
Next week, I have no idea what we're doing, but I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. Until then, you've been watching Triple B TV. Y'all take care. Were you looking at that camera when you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh look, we got one out.
Oh crap!
Trying to say I'm funny. My mama says I look funny.
Yeah.
Do me a favor and put your hand right here. No,
here?
on me.
On you?
Yeah, right there, and just go ahead and leave it there. Leave that hand there as best you can.
Gotcha.
Are we ready?
Ready. That's Mr. Frog. That's gonna be fun. He'll probably piss and shit all over me. But I'm used to it when I'm hanging with Brian.